Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I recently did a video on the whole concept or idea of Lucifer, AKA Satan. And also, I came across, I did a few videos pertaining to him, and I said even more than once that I don't believe in Satan just as much as I don't believe in God. I'm not exactly an atheist because I do believe in the paranormal and a bunch of other things related to it. And so I'm more of an agnostic. I just don't believe in God and Satan from a biblical point of view. In my opinion, God and Satan is actually it is made up, it is fabricated, it is made up, but it does have its actual roots of where it came from. It didn't just I don't believe that it was just made up out of isolation, just by itself. No. I believe that it actually came from something or someone that actually existed. Like, for example, Dracula. We all know that Dracula is a mythical character. We all know that. We all know that he's made up. However, even though Dracula was made up, he was actually based on a real person. So he was actually the real Dracula was Vlad the Impaler. So it was based off of him. So God and Satan was actually based on something that actually really did happen in the remote past. It's just that whoever was in charge of writing it down when the Bible started, they just wrote what they were what. Excuse me. I'm sorry. They were writing what they were told to write. They were told to write whoever was telling them to. And you call them the evil powers that be, or the Illuminati at that time, or whatever. But they were told what to write. Now, the whole concept of Satan, first of all, according to my studies and according to what I actually feel about it too, because it wasn't something that I just agreed with, 1, 2, 3. It took a while. It took about maybe a year and a half for me to actually become convinced. And the actual history of it, from what it actually came from, was from the ancient Sumerian text. And it's from an alien race that created humanity. In this alien race, there was some conflict that happened within the empire, and this alien race was known as the Anunnaki, and they're the ones that created humanity, and they created them to be slaves, so they were badly mistreated and they were made to feel inferior. In the original humans that they created, because they took the DNA from ape-like creatures known as the hominids, and they mixed it with the DNA of the Anunnaki, the ones that looked more human. And for those of you who know the story of that, you probably would know what I mean and things like that. But of course, a lot of Christians are going to be offended by it, but I don't care, because I feel I have the right to speak my mind. I'm not trying to convince people. I'm just saying this is just what I believe. That's all. I would never say you better believe this. This is the truth. I would never say that. you have the right to believe what you want to believe. Anyways, this is what to make it more to the point of what I mean. This is how the whole concept of Satan really is.
The whole idea or concept of Satan is based on a misunderstood visit by extraterrestrials in the remote past. According to the ancient astronaut theory, the reason why we have the idea of a Satan today is because there might have been some type of a mutiny between good and bad extraterrestrial factions in the remote past. And so the mutineers were cast out by the commander, and they became known as the evil, fallen angels, which they never were.
And this is what I believe from what I saw in that documentary by Giorgio Tsoukalos. It's a documentary on UFOs and aliens and things like that. And it says that the oldest story of the Lucifer rebellion was actually that. The ones that lost the battle, the ones that rebelled and fought and lost and were cast out were actually the good guys. They were never evil. So since the victors, the ones that are in control of information, gets to write history to their benefit. I'm sorry, but that's just what I believe. I'm only speaking for myself, and also, I guess, for people who would actually have the same suspicion. So the whole idea of Satan was actually based on that. It was based on a battle between good and evil aliens from the same empire. There was a mutiny or some kind of a rebellious faction within the Anunnaki Empire. And the person who actually was the Satan or the Lucifer type was known as Enki, Enki. He's the benevolent alien god of the Anunnaki. And the one he was against was Anu, Anu, king of the Anunnaki. And if you go through all the different types of the cultures, Enki was also the same name used in Akkadian, in the Akkadian text. And then Babylonian, it was Dagon. And then in Egyptian, it was Ta, or with spelled with a P. The P is silent, Ptah. In the Greek mythology, Enki, aka Lucifer, was actually Prometheus in the Greek mythology. And of course, Zeus, the evil, self-centered, arrogant type of god, was Anu. And of course Cronus, the god, his father that he overthrown was Alalu. That was his father. They had a fist fight kind of thing, some kind of match, and then fighting for the throne kind of thing, according to the myth. And now and then, ever since through the cultures, Enki, that became Lucifer afterwards, was twisted into being evil. The guy who hated humanity and things like that. But in reality, he actually gave a fuck about humanity. He actually Sorry for my speech. Still kind of messed up. He actually gave a fuck about humanity. He actually cared. So much to the point that he actually rebelled, and knowing that he was badly outnumbered, he was forced to be he was actually exiled. He chose exile. Exile, I mean, and that's how it is. That's how it is with the whole concept of, or the idea of Satan. Now, a lot of you Christians out there who might be watching this or whatever might say, "Oh, this is a bunch of bullshit." Okay, fine. If you want to believe that, that's fine. Again, I'm not trying to force this on anybody. But for those of you who have a suspicion about why doesn't God do anything, why does he allow this kind of bad things to happen, it's because he's an evil motherfucker. According to the way this whole, the ancient Sumerian and then throughout the entire cultures. And with the Greek mythology, how it actually proves of that one too. So if that's true, then I will actually answer the question. But, how many people are actually going to believe that? How many? Out of 1 million, out of 100 million people that would hear this or whatever, how many of them will actually take that seriously? Percentage-wise, I'll be surprised if 25% actually believe it. I'll die of shock. And again, not to offend anybody or to talk crap, and this is just how I feel. And to let you know, he is not evil, and the whole idea of him being evil and against humanity, that he's this evil type of serpent that needs to be despised and all that, is just a fear propaganda. The evil demonic Satan is just a fear propaganda made up by Christian fundamentalists that were in power possibly during the time of the Council of Nicaea or even earlier, way earlier, who knows. I don't exactly remember when. But here's another example of what I mean.
There are many who are going to say that what you are saying is heresy, what you are saying, you have been misled. If you are not lying, then you are dealing with representatives of Satan. There is no Satan, Art. The Catholic Church made it up. They even admitted it. They even admitted to creating the devil. But nobody wants to listen because everybody is so hooked on fear. People have become addicted to being afraid of something. A vengeful God? Well, that's what the Bible says. A God I am a loving and forgiving God, yet I'm a jealous God. I never the best for making a mistake. Yeah, I never bought into that part either. A jealous God who would, if you thought about anything other than him, get angry and toss you into the fiery abyss, yes. But if he was the only one, what would he be afraid of? I mean,
Well, I hope you liked this video. And again, drop a comment, any questions, the whole thing. And I really appreciate it if you could share this too with as many people as you can, because I think it's important for people to know. And of course, just leave it up to them if they want to believe it. I just strongly feel this way, and I don't really care if people think that I'm an idiot or whatever. I actually don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I mean, I'm there to speak. I dare to speak about what I honestly feel that I need to say. I mean, that's just me. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound like a punk. And I feel I have the right to speak my mind. Plain and simple. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. So, I really appreciate it. And again, to all of you, Take care.